Okay, here we are at another technical Tuesday. I am in this level and I built this already, but uh, I'm just going to rebuild it again. And actually, it's a lot more than just the level, it's a whole lot of functionality. The black hole, everything. Him even flying isn't in here. So I guess, I don't know. It's kind of sucks to have to redo everything, but maybe I can do it better. And I guess it's extra content. So. Hey, you take the good with the bad. But anyways, this is what we got. So he jumps, can punch. It's not the same animation of punches. It's so much missing that's in the other one. But at least we have these tanks that won't leave us alone. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to the tank and stop it from doing that. So I guess fire loot, that's it shooting at you and stuff. Essentially, we don't care about anything because it's not really shooting anything. And begin play, what do we have? Set movement, fine. Let's see. Oh, okay. So on here we have add movement component, so that makes sense. On the event tick, every frame per second, it's gonna keep chasing us. So we take this off. That should do it. Uh-oh. Come on. Yeah, my computer's not the. Alright. There we go. They sit still. Can't really do anything with those things. Well, we can't test it with those things chasing us. This is very annoying. And they're way too fast. Okay. So let's get into our player character. Comic book. And that out the way. Yeah, I guess we'll just rebuild it. There we go. Well, hold on. Make sure we got the right one. I think it's the third person character. Um, Maps and modes are default. It's not under there. Not under there. Starter map, level map, select default mode. Okay. BP comic book page. That's our default. That's our default pawn. Oh, so we might have an override in here. Uh, the default pawn is who's the main character, and that changes because obviously this is a comic book. This is just the level you get to play. So let's go to our world settings. Uh, yeah, I just got off of work, so I'm a little tired, but I want to go ahead and do this. Yeah, DP third person. So we're overriding, and our third person character is being overrid in this and all the playable levels. In the main comic book, your character actually is the comic book. So let's go in here. Let's see what we got. A bunch of movement stuff that comes with it. Nothing on our begin play. Left mouse button. We can literally just take this off because we're gonna change that anyway. I'm not going to delete it, but I'm just going to say example um attack. That's just an example attack. So that doesn't work anymore. Let me think about what we need to do. The one thing that's bothering me is that he can't fly. and the other one he can fly. I might do that later, but I want to get the black hole done. So let's create our black hole. Content, comic book. I want to see what's in comic book test. I don't know. I don't care. Because I am a little perturbed that I have to redo this, but whatever. And I could copy it over, but it wouldn't really show people how to do it. So let's create another blueprint. So actor, BP, black hole. And we are going to give this a, what do you want to give this? Let's give this so we can test it out slowly. Let's give it a sphere. Bow bow. On our third person character, let's just use the left mouse button. That works. And on press, we're gonna spawn actor from class. This is gonna spawn whatever we tell it to, black hole. Now we want to tell it where we want it to spawn. Split struct. You can get your location, rotation, and scale. If you leave it at 0, 0, it'll spawn at 0, 0, 0. I'll just show you that. Oh, okay. So every time I clicked the mouse button, so that's why it happened. But so when I click the mouse button, it appears as 0, 0, 0. If I click it again, it'll do it again, but you know, you can't see the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth or sixth. We don't want it to spawn there. We want it to spawn in front of our character. Now you can do a whole bunch of calculations and stuff. The easiest way that I know how is basically go to your character, go on the viewport. On our mesh, we want to add a scene. Now, a scene is basically something that's not in the game, but it gives you an exact location, rotation, and scale. And in fact, I think instead of a scene, we're going to add an arrow because it does the same thing, but it also tells you which direction it is, which is going to come in handy when we give it its vector, or yeah, it's vector. Okay, so stack mesh, arrow. Now we have a black hole arrow. So now we have our arrow. And as you can see, it's pointing the wrong way. That's why that's better than a scene, because we're going to use the direction the arrow is pointing at to tell us where we want the black hole to go. So let's rotate this the right way. So we're positive on the Z. Make it 90. Bow bow. So that base is where the arrow is technically going, and it's pointing that way. So we're going to go to our event graph, get our black hole arrow. Oh, never mind. Let's get our black hole, and let's get location. And plug that right into there. All right. Now it spawns right in front of us. Ain't that neat? So we can spawn our black hole. But we want our black hole to move forward. So we're going to give this a projectile movement. And we'll just say velocity. Let's give it a velocity. Oh, let's do speed first. So initial speed, let's just say 300. 300. Now we're getting the velocity of this in the X. Let's see what the X is. So the X is this way. Um, but that doesn't really help us to give it the velocity of our arrow. So when we play it again, it'll start doing that. But obviously we don't want gravity on it. So let's take gravity off. Now let's see what it does. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong gravity. You got to do it on the projectile movement. Now, so doesn't matter where we face, it's going to go towards its X, the black hole's X. We don't want that. We want it to go wherever the character's facing. One thing I also want to do is let's go to our level blueprint and let's remove the music. So we don't have to keep hearing it over and over and over again. All right. So that's the music component. Add audio component. It is March of the Iron Sun. Yeah. Now, back here. We want to get this arrow's forward vector. We need to give it to our black hole. Black hole. All right. Now, okay, we need to set the forward vector. Why is it not showing up? Oh, I get those mixed up. It's velocity. Sorry about that. We're going to set its velocity. On event begin play. Now, the way we're going to test this is that it's 0, 0, 0, so it shouldn't move. I'm not promising that it'll work, but if it does, there we go. So now we have a way to set its velocity. If we move this to 1, it'll do exactly what it was doing. Or maybe not. Let's see something. So when we set it here, let's see. I don't think that's really going to change anything. All right. We are setting the velocity. Why is it not moving? Oh, it is working. Okay. It's just very, very slow. Which is one thing you might want to do if you're not getting results. Give it like extreme numbers. So 1, you couldn't see it move, but if we move this to 330, then it's gonna go exactly the same. So we're setting the velocity. Now, we don't want to set it in here because we don't want it to be based off this. We want to set it in our player character. So to get this blueprint from this spawn, we need to promote this to a variable and call it, black hole velocity. So now we have it as a variable, which is just a container, so it can change. But that's not enough. We need to make an instance editable for each one it's going to change. And then we want to expose on spawn. So when we expose on spawn, compile that, save that, we go back to here. And if we refresh our node, there we go. So now we can change the velocity of this and this because we're spawning it. We don't want the forward vector. We want the get velocity. Get component velocity. We don't want to get the velocity. We want to get the forward vector. Let's try something. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. We only want it to go forward. So we're going to split this struct. And the velocity is going to be 0 because the arrow. So we're going to multiply this by 300. Okay. Now, okay, I see what's going on. Let's recombine this, recombine this. Oops. Recombine, remove this, and we're gonna multiply this. Turn this into a float because we don't want to have to put numbers in for each one. We want it to go the same speed in all directions. So, yeah. All right. Now it shoots any direction that we're facing. Well, any direction that arrow's facing. So we have our black hole moving in the right direction. Oh, come on, don't do it on me. Oh, okay. That happened because after a certain time, so this is firing, is doing this demo widget. It's adding it to the viewport, delays 15 seconds. And after 15 seconds, which this is basically the demo duration, I need to turn that into a variable so I can change it. Then it casts to the game instance. You always want to use the game instance because that it stays it's not destroyed with each level. If you use like the game mode, and see it takes you back page 6, which we're getting from the game instance, it would basically take you to the beginning of the comic book every time if you use something that didn't persist. The game instance persists. That's how we can get into page 6. Otherwise, it would just start at the beginning. Nobody wants that. And then we're also setting that we resume Sandtown page on level load. Yeah. So that's from the game instance. Blah blah blah. That's not really what we're working on. I'll explain it better some other time. So now let's just take this off. We actually don't really need any of this because let's just remove all this. So now it won't kick us back into the comic book. So first thing, now that we have our black hole moving correctly, clean this up. We got the black hole moving correctly, except the fact that it's insanely slow. Let's do 750. File, save. Still insanely slow. Okay. Massive numbers. Let's do 3,000. Okay. Let's do 30,000. It's probably way too fast, but still not moving faster. It's just, hmm. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's just moving where it's beginning. So what we're gonna do is move this back to 300. Check to see that's giving it its direction. We just want to make sure it's not touching our character. So to test that, okay. In fact, let's not worry about that exactly. Well, we'll do that all at the same time. So we're getting our velocity, which is giving you direction, but the speed is going to be in here. So let's move this to 1000. You can always do the initial and the max speed to be different so it speeds up, but I don't really care about that right now. Now, okay. Come on. I don't think it's getting any faster, but I know a great way to test. Let's set this to 0. Okay. So changing the velocity this way is only going to give it how far it's going. It still has in 300. So what I want to do, if that's only making it change where it spawns, hmm, let's try this. I appreciate it. Set initial speed, and then we're gonna set max speed. All right. So no matter what happens, first we're gonna get the velocity from our character, and then after that we're gonna amp it up. We're gonna get it piping hot. That goes in there. That's not really necessary. Just kind of like a stickler for things being neat, except my room. All right. Let's crank this bad boy up to 1000. So we get our correct velocity, and then after that, in this blueprint, we'll crank up the speed. It's going to spawn this first. Once this spawns, then this runs. So this should come after, and that thing should fly. I don't think so. Yeah. 0, 0. All right, so that's not working. We're gonna have to figure out a way. So black hole velocity. Black hole velocity is being set in there. Mm. I'm gonna have to think that one through. Velocity is speed and direction. Mm, let's test this. Now that's interesting. That does make it go faster. I don't understand why it's not working. It's very odd. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work. Yeah, okay, I'm not crazy. Sometimes things glitch like that. All right, so we have our black hole. It's looking pretty good. We could promote this to a variable for speed, maybe if we wanted to do a control later, but that's really not necessary. I don't want it going that fast though, so let's cut that in half. Okay, so that should run at half. We have our black hole. Now there's a lot of functionality I wanted to do. I guess I'm just gonna make a really long video and cut it up because it's stuff I gotta do anyway. And I guess if I do 2, 3 weeks worth, it's not a bad deal. All right. So one thing about my black hole is that I want it to grow. I don't know if anybody's seen the other one, but generally it starts out small and gets bigger. So the way we're gonna do that, first of all, let's make our sphere correct. Let's first of all, this should have no collision. Why can I not do this? Custom overlap. We want to overlap everything that way it can go through it. We can get information from it. We can make it happen, on an overlap, but we don't want it to block the character or anything. Also, we actually want this to ignore. We want to add a collision sphere. Collision sphere. Collision. Um, black hole collision sphere. Let's just see. Oh, it's too small. All right, so what we want to do with this is we want to this, do this. Also, I wanted to let's say scale. Let's say 1.75. Just want it just bigger than the 1.7. So we're gonna run everything off this collision sphere. This doesn't need any collision, and actually we need some cool material for it. So let's look at fab. I should get the material from the other game. In fact, no, I'm not gonna do that because it's not important right now. Let's just get something basic. Trying not to use up too much time with look at it, all. Let's look at what materials we got. Let's get something cool, but at the same time, not gonna take forever to, you know. Yeah, that's cool. I'll go back and make a better collision. I mean, a better material. I actually already have it. It's just in the other game. So black hole collisions. Oop. So let's run some tests. On event begin overlap of our collision sphere, we want to print string our other actor, and let's just box. Let's make like a citadel, something to represent the citadel. Or you know what? Let's just get a cube. We have our cube. Let's bring it up. Go to the details. Let's make it 10. Huge cube. Let's test that our functionality. Uh, it's not telling us it's hitting our cube, but it's telling us. So we know it works because it's hitting us, which we don't want it to do. Why it's not telling us it's hitting this cube is probably because it's not an actor, which is actually exactly because it's quite literal, sadly. Other actor, other component. So let's do this. Where's my cube? Where's the cube? What in the world? Cube. That is crazy. What happened to the cube? Okay. That is weird. That is very weird. All right. Not a worry. No problem. Let's go out of here. Yeah. Content, comic book, blueprints. Let's say, let's make another actor. Oops. Blueprint class. We'll call this BP Citadel. Eventually, I'm going to make this look better, but right now it's just for testing purposes. Let's add a cube. Test Citadel 10. There we go. Let's get our test Citadel. Right here. Save. All right. Now at the top left, you see it's Citadel. Cool. We have that. And actually, the black hole, the material is kind of hard to see. Don't worry about that. I have to tell myself not to worry about that. Stuff like that. Because it's not really my job to do artwork, but I wear all the hats. So we'll get to that later. Okay, so on our other actor, we want to set scale. Set actor scale. 1, 1, 1. Oh, okay. Also, I'm just going to show you what's going to happen. Since it was hitting us, it's going to do it to us. And then it's going to do it to whatever it hits. But it's not doing it. They're not overlapping. Oh, okay. Let's try 10. It's probably not working because it is already at 1, but this will make us 10 times as big. Yep, there we go. And the citadel's huge. All right, so that works. So let's first thing we need to do is other echo. We don't want anything to affect our player. So does we don't want it to affect our player. So not equal to get player character. We don't want the black hole to eat us alive. So if it's not equal to our player character, then we do this. Boom, boom. There we go. Gosh, I did this so long ago. So doesn't do it to us, but it's doing it to the black hole because we have this on self. Maybe stuff like that. We don't want it to do it to itself. We want it to do it to the other actor. So now, maybe stuff like that, man. Boom, huh? Kablooey. All right, so that works. But that's not how black holes work. That's not what we want to do. Exactly. What we want to do is we want it to shrink. But we don't want it to shrink all at once. We need it to get to 0, 0, 0, which will make basically it doesn't exist. There we go. So that works just fine, but we don't want it to do it at once. So we need a timeline, not a timeline component. So this is what we got there. Shrink. So we always want this to play from the start. It's going to be updating to this. Why is that doing that? It's bothering me. Sorry, it just bothers me. All right, there we go. All right. All right. We want it to update. So we're going to go in here. We're going to make a new track, float track. Shift, shift. And I don't know. Let's say we want it to take 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want it to, at the time of 0, we want it to be at its normal scale. There we go. And at 5 seconds, we want it to be at 0. So basically, when this runs, it's gonna at 1 second. I mean, at 0 seconds, it's gonna be 1, and then it's gonna go. It's gonna take 5 seconds for it to get to a value of 0. So let's see. Hook up our track, which I need to change that name. And shrinking. All right, let me grab shrinking. We want this to happen to go from its normal size at 0 seconds. In 5 seconds, it should be at 0. Let's see how it goes. Here we go. Now it's shrinking. 5 seconds. Bloop. Doesn't exist. Now, another thing we want to do Another thing we want to do, first of all, we want the black hole to stop. We want it to stop where it is. So on event begin overlap, if that's true, we want to, oops, we want to get this, set velocity to 0, 0, 0. That's to stop it dead in its tracks. Let's test that. There we go. So it stops going and it shrinks. Now, I'm probably going to break this off into different functions or different variables, whatever. Um, let's put this together. But we also want to duplicate this, and we're going to call this, um, let's call it absorbing. Absorbing. And what we want to do with this is we don't want it to just get smaller. We want it to gravitate towards the middle of the black hole because that's what black holes do. So we are going to set actor location. And we don't want it at 0, 0. We want it at our black hole's location. So get actor location. And it will basically set our citadel where our black hole is. So now it's shrinking wherever that is, which is pretty good. But I like it a little bit more aesthetic, which is why I added this. We're going to go in here. We're going to rename this. Oh, well, I can't do that quite yet. Let's close this over here. Change this to absorb. A lot of things can't have the same names. So we're going to call this absorbing. All right. And essentially, we're doing the same thing. We're going to have it start where it is and go to, let me think that one through. We want it to start at 0, 0, which basically changes it to nowhere. And so its value absorbing. You might have to lerp it. Let me see. I have to think that one through. So alert basically goes from A to B. The alpha is going to be this, which is basically the speed. And enter. L, L, enter. Slurp. Enter. So interpolation basically takes it from one place to another. I just got to get the right one. Tries to reach target A in distance from current position. Might be this one. enter. But I really think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. So this is going to be our this is going to be our insert speed. Our delta time is basically the time between the, so an event tick is, I don't have one. Event tick is every frame per second. A delta time is the time in between. So let's get delta time. Oh, delta. Get world delta time. Okay, there we go. So that's the world delta time in seconds. So this, let's give it get actor's location. And we want it to, so we want it to start where it is. Get actor location. So we want the current one, we want the target one to be the black hole self. Delta time is get the world that's always the same. And insert speed. Now I think the insert speed, I really don't think the values of this matter. Could be wrong, but let's just put it at 1 and give it a go. Give it a whirl. See what we got. There we go. Let's try a higher value. Try 100. That ain't it. All right, that works. See how it moved with it? So I don't really think this is needed for this. Let's take that off. We're just going to plug it in because I don't really know how we would give it that insert speed. But let's try 100. And it should slowly slide and shrink. You know what we're going to do? We are going to skip all of this and go straight to this and just test this on its own. So this down here. So this is what we're working with. It's not going to shrink. That way we can see what we got going on. It should basically just move. It moved better at 5. Hmm. Why is it doing it so fast? All right. Yeah, so it's a jump if it's at 0. Still jumps there. So we are gonna need that. Just not quite sure how we do that. Hmm. Hmm. So the locations are right. Delta time is always this. How do we slow this thing up? Let me see what it does the way it is. What in the world? Oh, that's why. Okay. If you don't have that on there, it's gonna mess with the player character. It is moving. Oh, it is moving. Oh, that's right. It's just following it because we haven't set the velocity to 0. It'd be like that. All right. Now let's. No. I mean, it's doing it. It's just doing it too fast. You can see it when it's moving. Instantly gone. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research on that. It's not really too important to me right now. It's just really annoying because it shouldn't be that hard, but it looks good for now. For now. All right. Let's see how it looks with everything. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, but I know how we can figure it out. I did it before. Let's go to this. Hopefully, this doesn't break either game. Well, not break it, but rather we just go into the one that already works. Okay. I guess while we're in here, and get some things that I want. I find a trooper. Level prototyping. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Free wild wolf. Hope this is the right game. All right, we're not gonna waste time while that's loading. Don't need that. It's real. Come on. Huh? Jeez. I don't know why this interp isn't. Okay. Well, at least we have it shrinking. Now, what else do we need to do? The black hole essentially is done. It just needs materials, a better material than what it has. That's, that's, yeah, that thing's gonna take forever. Is it not the animation showcase? Oh shiz. It's not this. It's the game. Yeah, it's the game animation sample. Let's open this up. Content. My content. Blueprint. Blueprints. BPCX. That's blueprints. Content. Mm, There we go. Cool, cool. Oh, that's loading, which it's not taking as long. Thank the Lord. It's not working. It doesn't have the texture. Ah, this is almost open, so that's not a problem. We'll get our texture then. Okay, so we're shrinking this. While that's working, let's go back to our comic book and Atomic group test. Characters. We can go ahead and set up characters. Let's go ahead and make us an NPC. Mesh. To work for now. Make 90, 90, negative 90. There we go. Animation blueprint. There we go. This thing still is not loaded yet. I feel like I've already done this. Why didn't I do this? Okay. We're not going to worry about the spawner just yet. What we're going to do is get our AI to move. Begin play. AI move to, let's just say right now, get player. All right, so this guy should move. His target actor is us, so it should move to us. The pawn that we're doing, it's itself, so we get a reference to self. And, this thing seriously? Okay. So this is where we already have all this functionality. It's crazy. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Elegant. BP Black. Shrink black hole. Oh man, we even have it expanding. Okay, absorbing. Guess I took this off. Let's go. Logic. We call this crush player. Alert vector alpha. It's the same exact thing. What are we using? Oh, the wrong node. Okay. We're using an interp. That's what's on. All right. Perfect. Easy way to solve it. So we want it to go from A to B, which would be where it is to the black hole. Now let's see how it works. Oh, and this guy. Well, we know he works. We can back up. Back up off me, man. We shoot it. And it shrinks. Yes, it shrinks very slowly towards it, I think. Let me go back in here. Look at my values. So we're 25 seconds from 0 to 1. Okay. Ooh, sometimes it'd be like that. We have it at 50. That might be why it's moving too fast. 25, 25. File save. Now, last thing we want to do just to check it itself. Come here, plug in here. So now it should just gravitate towards the middle of the black hole. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, just a matter of wrong nodes. Thank God I did this already. Didn't need the delta time. Didn't need any of that. All right. Now let's see how it works. Let's get. We want you to go into here. All right. I'm pretty sure I know what it's doing. It has to do one. It has to finish this before it does this. Timelines are funny like that. So what we're gonna do, take this off, plug you in here, and we want it to do one and then the other, which you can do that with the sequence, and you can add as many as you want, and it'll basically do one, then the other, and so on and so forth. And here, here, and here. That way you can do one, then the other, and don't have to wait on it to finish. What? We literally just fixed this. Didn't we? Didn't we just do this? Oh, that's why. About to say, what in the world? Come on. There we go. It'd be stuff like that. I wonder if we need this sequence though. While it's updating, it should play this. Maybe that was true too. There he goes. All right. So yeah, I guess I mean it's absorbed through the black hole. I don't know. Usually updated means it's going at the same time, but whatever. This works. So let's make this a little bit neater. And actually, so we don't have all these wires crossing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna promote this to a variable, but only if it's not the player character. Um, let's say doomed actor, because you're doomed. So if it's not the player character, we're gonna promote this to a variable. These are our doomed characters. They went too far past the event horizon. It's over for them. So we need to take this and put it everywhere it was. So just do this. Don't need that. I'm going to start it at the doomed actor's location, and our target is the doomed actor. Don't need those anymore. Light cleaner. Plus, it's going to come in handy later because what we're going to have to do is we're going to make a proxy for the black hole. Essentially, the proxy is going to spawn another thing, which I think we're going to do next now that this is done. Go ahead and do the logic for the black hole. Anyways, the proxy is this. It's going to be something that's invisible. It's going to spawn every time. We're going to put this logic on our proxy. And the reason we're going to do that is when you do this functionality, these timelines, they can only handle one act at a time. So what will happen is if you have two things next to each other that are supposed to shrink and it hits one of them and the other, it's only going to do it to one. Now, the black hole I have expands when it hits something. So it'll hit something, expand, and it'll hit something else. And it'll start shrinking the second thing it hit, and it'll stop shrinking the first, sorry. And then so on and so forth. It's not expanding now, so I guess that wouldn't be too much of a problem. But projectile movement. So here. So yeah, I mean that's basically it right there for the shrinking. And I'll probably just turn that into a. I don't think it can be a function. Yeah, timelines can't be functions because they have latency, which it just means that the functions have to finish like instantly. And since this is like 25 seconds and blah blah blah, I just can't do it.